Vince Scully passed away, and I understand he did the Dodgers and he did the Mets, but a lot of people consider him as one of the greatest broadcasters of all time. He did it broadcasting for over 50 years or something like that, which is crazy. And I think they were talking that back then he did it all by himself. I think he did the first 6 or 7 innings. He did some other sports as well, but being the Dodgers broadcaster was his number one thing that he was known for. What do you think what is your reflections? What is your thoughts on Vince Scully passing away?
Yeah, if he's not one of the best, he may be the best sportscaster, broadcaster that has ever, been out there. And Vin, I think it was maybe 67 years. I mean, he was broadcasting when the Dodgers were in Brooklyn. Like, he broadcasted Jackie Robinson games all the way to now we've got Clayton Kershaw pitching. So like, he's was around for a very, very long time. He did a lot of national games. I wasn't alive during the 1986 World Series, but, I can always go back and watch. And his call of the, Bill Buckner error is probably one of the biggest calls of all time in World Series history. So the way he was able to tell a story, and, sometimes he would even just sit back and let you hear the crowd and let them tell the story for you. He just knew how to, be that guy and make you live that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he was baseball pretty much, as we all thought. Dodgers baseball. I mean, to do it for 67 years, you said, that's incredible. And it's kind of crazy too, because I think Bob Costas was talking about, and Bob Costas is a little older too, but he remembers Vince Scully. So does Al Michaels. I mean, that's just crazy how long he did it. And do you think there will be anyone, or do you think there'll be anyone else even close to Vince Scully?
Just in baseball? I don't know, because everything is so regional now. Mm-hmm. And when you think of these guys coming on to do this, you got the Joe Bucks of the world. I mean, he just left to go to, I think it was ESPN, but there's just so many announcers, and they don't, it's changed where they don't, like on the game of the week, they won't have, like, if the Mets are playing, you're not going to hear Gary, Keith, and Ron do, the broadcast. There's always some, national announcer going on. I don't know if there is going to be a guy like Vin doing what Vin does. Obviously, you mentioned Bob Costas. He's, a big name out there. Al Michaels, that's another one. But everyone's like so regional. And then there's some, broadcasters who could be homers, for their teams. I don't know if you hear like the Chicago White Sox broadcast and how they are, the Braves have their own guys and they call things differently. And, sometimes the Mets too do the same thing. So I don't know if there's any, broadcaster who can, just tell a story and has done it by himself. Like you mentioned, like how Vince Scully used to do it by himself. I just don't know if we'll, see something like that ever again.
Yeah, I mean, he was an incredible announcer, probably the greatest broadcaster of all time, at least, especially in baseball. So definitely rest in peace, Vince Scully. Thanks for listening to the Sports Town Podcast, or the STP Pod for short. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and much more. Also, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Sports Town Podcast. If you want to check out more videos of the Sports Town Podcast, click on the right.